I've joined the Rawvolution at Naturaw because I know that not all raw food is created equal. I'm passionate about feeding dogs as nature intended. After all, you are what you eat, and so is your dog. At Naturaw, there are no compromises, no confusion, just real raw food made with integrity and a conscience, offering 100% transparency, supporting British farmers, and only using the highest welfare assured ingredients is so important. They're a certified B Corp and reduce their carbon footprint by utilizing solar power and planting trees. They only use completely plastic-free packaging that's home compostable. Prudence and Mr. Binks are simply loving their nutrient-dense and balanced recipes. So try Naturaw today. Just go to naturaw.co.uk and grab 20% off your first purchase with my code AnnaWebb20. Join the Rawvolution and feed exceptional raw food. I'm Anna Webb, and welcome to this week's episode of A Dog's Life, where I'm chatting with author and broadcaster Gillian Carrick, all about her book From Catnip to Cupid. And this episode is powered by Antinol. Gillian Carrick, welcome to A Dog's Life.
Thank you very much. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, no, I'm delighted that you're joining. So I know you talk on a lot of animal podcasts, and you chat about all the various books actually as an author that you have written on both actually dogs, of course, but also on cats. And you're known to have been in a few BBC radio studios over the years and written lots of features for the big broadsheets, I understand.
Yes, that's right. And I rather like doing it that way sometimes. And I wrote something about cats being affected by indoor pollution. I did that for the Daily Mail.
Oh, that's so
And
interesting.
well, the paper was a bit taken aback that the quotes I actually put in, which was from three incredibly lovely vets, all based in Scotland, nothing in England, but and it was really the vets were writing it in a sort of, you could say they were, but it was a really good education for me too about how we go on about outdoor pollution on animals, but when they're inside, they pick up things like dust, and the electric stuff really kind of works badly for them. And then they can have thyroid problems and throat problems. So, and it was part of one of the Daily Mail's supplements.
So interesting, Gillian. No, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, in my study, I learned that an indoor environment, okay, is actually 3.5 times more toxic in inverted commas than being outside, contrary to what we normally think. Depends what you use, of course, in your garden. If you use herbicides in your garden, you've got to actually factor those in as well. So it's probably why my garden right now looks, I don't know, like a troll forest, or I don't know quite how you'd quite describe it actually, but I suppose all gardens look terrible in winter. Mine definitely does because there's been, we don't use those things. No, it is interesting. And it's all the volatile organic compounds that evaporate. If you I clean my flat, Gillian. Don't laugh. I clean my flat with probiotics, a proper probiotics, not the sort that I might eat, but they are cleaning probiotics so that hopefully my whole flat just rebalances itself with bacteria that is around us everywhere. So yeah, so no nasty cleaning products in our flat, and I'm sure you're the same, Gillian.
Well, I'm not the world's greatest cleaner as such. I do it myself, but I will now maybe go and get some probiotic things that you're talking about. And because I really want to get a cat as soon as possible. So I would make sure that it was all lovely for the cat.
Well, we've done a podcast with actually, I will send you the link, but as just a name check because we love this company very much. The company is called Ingenious Probiotics, and yeah, they're based in Essex, and you can buy laundry liquid, to wash your clothes. Honestly, and it really is cleaning. Please don't think I live in a funny old place. No, it's amazing. And then you kind of dilute the liquid and put it into one of those, plant squirters, that you squirt on plants, just one of those water things, and you just squirt it everywhere like you would with a general household cleaner. It so works. And the funny thing is you feel kind of fresh in it, it's an interesting. Please, I'll put you in touch, Gillian, if you do fancy taking the plunge. I don't think you'll go back.
No, I think you're right. And it would be better for any animal living with you, sort of thing, is how I'd feel about it. So, and things are being developed quickly, and it's very good that they have these ingenious ways round everything. So it's thank you for telling me.
Oh no,
So
don't be silly. No, I just love it because you love cats, and primarily our podcast is, about dogs, but because of the cats that have, oh my gosh, just totally transformed my life. We segue to cats more often than not at the moment, Gillian, I have to say. And I agree. So I've got this lovely book in front of me that's all set for Valentine's Day, which is today, of course. And the book is called From Catnip to Cupid. So, Gillian, how did you come about writing this?
Well, I just my intention for the book was to not just be talking about dating. It was actually what I thought was that I wanted to salute cats and sort of prove their status or should be on the par with dogs or above. But I must say, I do love dogs as well. Please don't think I don't like them. So I really wanted to just put them in the stardust a bit because cats have been seen as too independent. They don't care what they're doing. It's all about covered love. But it's actually, there's so much more going on, and there's something like 300 million and rising of cat lovers globally, and more men are being a cat parent. And if Instagram's anything to go by, it's always guys on it. And so I think it's not just mad cat women. I mean, that's always thrown out there, isn't it?
I know. I know. I feel like I might be becoming one of those.
Exactly. But I mean, dogs and cats can get on pretty well together.
Yes. No, absolutely. Gillian, you've hit on such a sort of hot point with me at the moment, okay? Because well, both my dogs are quite old now, and I hate it. I can't bear it. I spoke on an American podcast last night, actually, about this and this dreadful thing of, you do your pre-grieving, and it's a massive, massive extra stress in your life, which you shouldn't stress about. But I suppose it's constantly on your mind when a dog hits 14. You never know, I mean, anything can happen, unfortunately, and it's horrible. And I don't like it, and I want it to go away. I don't want to be at this point. Do you know what I mean, Gillian? But
Yes.
the thing is, I'm an ambassador for All Dogs Matter, the rehoming charity, and oh, obviously I will adopt. I don't even really want to think about it. But the problem I've got is that All Dogs Matter, along with every single other adoption dog charity, Gillian, they won't let you. I mean, hopefully I can get around it because I can, what's the word, win friends, influence people a bit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can. But because I've got a cat, I can't adopt a dog from a rescue centre. And this happened. No, they won't let it. No, they cannot see that dogs and cats can get on. But it's what annoys me about all this is it's like a blanket policy. It's not, thinking, well, that little dog, look, and or well, that cat, doesn't want to care, do you know? So it is a very frustrating thing for me. I think I might have to make a bit more of an issue of it because it meant that basically, where are we? So basically, 13 years ago, I couldn't adopt from somewhere like Dogs Trust. When I wanted to bring a second dog into my home when Molly, my first bull terrier, was aging, there was no way it was going to happen because I had Gremlin, my cat. So in the end, I rehomed Mr. Binks from a breeder who wanted to find him a forever home, and that was me, and he's still here. So and that wasn't a problem that I had a cat. So it's a right. I just don't understand it, Gillian. I mean, what do you think about
No.
that?
Well, I think they're being very sort of bad assessing, really, or maybe not bad, but not really seeing how the two furries could get on really well. And it's obviously if they think the cat's going to go and scratch the eyes out of the dog or something awful like that, or vice versa. So I think it's a real shame. Maybe they're just protecting the animals, or they don't want to consider allowing the two to be good cousins. They can almost be siblings together. So I think yes, they should open their mind a bit to allowing those two animals to love each other and live a lovely life.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I should check to see actually what some of the cat charities think if you have a dog, whether it works the other way round. As the two cats that have shared time with me, amazingly, I've been very honored, have both landed. My latest one, Baggy, landed on my doorstep in a terrible
Oh.
state. I know. Yeah. I mean, heading the wrong way, if you know what I mean, to death. But anyway, he's just here beside me now, and I don't have no idea how old he is because with cats, it's actually much harder, I think, to tell definitively than it is arguably with a dog. Would you agree on that?
Yes, my lovely black cat Sweep, who I inherited from my niece who developed an allergy to Sweep. So I had a long time with him because he didn't die until he was 20, which was
Oh,
great. And because he is or was a moggy, he didn't really have sort of problems generally, and he didn't have arthritis. That's a book I wrote about cats and how they do sometimes get arthritis, but he was fine and everything was okay. So I really think that, well, you can't really tell, you're right, with cats, but when they're a bit obese and they're eating too much, that's you can get an idea that, and they're going very slowly when they walk and everything. That could be a sign that things aren't running through how it should be. So it's a tricky one. And yet with dogs, they don't they don't live as long as cats. So I mean, I think it was something like 23 or 4 years that Tom Hanks, the actor, had a cat, and then very sad when the cat did die. 24. But the cat never went to the vet. So he was doing something right, Tom Hanks.
Well, good for
um,
him. Gosh.
yeah.
Well, that's an irony, isn't it, actually? Although, there we go. I think, yeah, it's an interesting that the cat never went to the vets and lived till he was 24. I think, that's says a lot, to be fair. Poor old Bags here, he's got triaditis, which is quite serious, but we've turned him around. Since I had him, he had to be hospitalized for a night. Gosh, I think I could have stayed in the Savoy actually for 2 nights.
From everything they were charging you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's lazy. I mean, it was good. He was in a groovy part of London, nevertheless, of course, but it's quite funny. Oh, but Gillian, no, I love this celebration of cats. Not least in this little book, which I just think's such a sweet, but not saccharine gift for anyone really, any animal lover, but obviously particularly a cat lover. Is that why you put this together?
Well, I thought it would be nice to show cat capability, I think, because there's so much they can do, and they can be your great protector. They'll wash away your tears. They have what's known as emotional honesty, and that came from Ernest Hemingway, I think, because they he had all these lovely cats with 6 fingers, and he really loved being surrounded by all these cats because he knew they would be a good companion, and then also that if they don't like anyone, they don't pretend they like this person. So that's why I thought, if people really want to get some advice on dating with the cat next to you, then it'll give you the idea that no, you don't have that guy or that girl. That's, they're no good, and then they'll walk out the room, and that's an indication that their emotional honesty, will give everything they need to the cat parent. So, and when the cats walk in and around the sofa or something like that, and they think the guy or girl is looking a good prospect, then the cat would have their tail in sort of saying, right, that's fine, you can go with this person.
So
But
funny.
I
So
think,
what?
yeah,
How would their
sorry.
tail be? Would it be sort of upright and
Yes,
doing?
upright, and when they, just nice, up there and looking good. But then if they didn't like the possible partner, they put their tail into a sort of question mark. So I
Yes,
don't know how they do it, but and that's why I think so many people now do actually take their cat to a meet cute, as they call it, and as a plus one, because the cat's sort of actually telling them, without actually doing anything in terms of speaking, obviously, but they were just giving all this idea that this is not what you need. So, and I do understand that now with cats. You build up and see that they can actually understand more than we know, I think. And they always fall on their feet, cats. So they just, that's why I respect them so much. They know how life should be.
I love this. And they do fall on their feet. But it is interesting with cats because, well, we did a podcast with this professor from Oxford University, Gregor Larsson, who he is really, well, he studies ancient DNA anyway. And the point is, he has actually discovered that cats have only been domesticated in so much as being inside with us for 4,000 years. And until recently, the figure was supposed to be 10,000 years. So they've actually been domesticated way less than we thought, you know, and obviously way, 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 way less than dogs, because there is evidence. There might be some new evidence coming out quite soon. I've had a little sniff of this, but I mustn't say anything else. But up until now, really, 15,000 years is about what we know for sure with a dog. So much longer than a cat. So it makes their whole emotional honesty and their communication skills with us that much more clever, don't you think?
Yes, yes, no, you're absolutely right. And because a lot of people talk about that cats were worshipped in Egypt when they were pulled over to get rid of the rats and all the rest of it. So in a way, they've never lost their status in those countries where they were just left to be so saluted. So it's that's not really ever gone from cats. I think they know how they are so good. And I was thinking actually with they're developing as well with cats, that I saw a Walt Disney video, and he was a fan of cats and dogs. And he was saying that the brains of cats are the nearest biologically to the human brain. Wow. And
Gosh.
yes. And I thought, really? I thought I had to watch it again when he said that. And they smile the way we do. So I think that's telling us that this is our absolutely best buddy, if we can, if
Yeah, like our alter ego or something, you
yes,
know.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Well, this,
Oh,
you see, because I know this sounds, oh, gosh, well, I know you won't think this sounds mad, but probably all my listeners are about to go, crikey, she's lost it. But I met a friend on the train randomly, as you do, just this week, and it was great to see her again. And she was asking about Baggy. And I said, gosh, you know what? I honestly know he just simply understands everything I say. We were on a crowded train. It was quite funny. And, you know, because I have to watch his toileting actually because of his triaditis. I have to keep an eye on it, check he's being really regular. Sorry that if you know you're having your breakfast right now, but I'll say to him, Bags, I think we need toilet, right? Like that. And he'll just go off into the because I've got the cat litter tray in the bath, so the dogs can't get at it. I know that all sounds gross. And he'll just jump in and there we are. And I'm like, crikey. So I've actually taught him to do that on cue, which of course you can do that more with a dog. Well, you definitely do easily do that with a dog, but there we go. I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, he's done that already today. There's something. And when they look at you, the cat, and of course, you've got what I love about him as well, he's quite vocal. So, oh gosh, it's even madder now. I actually do think we have a two-way conversation. Because
yeah,
dogs will bark at a trigger, you know, but cats just, you know, meow and make funny noises spontaneously. It's allegedly nothing at all, but it is at something, surely.
yes, no, it is. And I think their eyes have it as well. I mean, they lock on to you. And so it's almost like they're thinking, okay, I understand what she's just said, and do this, and knowing what to do, because I respect them so much, and dogs too, of course. And and it's really locking their eyes on their human. And so I think they do sense things incredibly largely now, and they really want to help their human. It's almost like they're leading the way to a human's life, because they're getting better and better and stronger, and they know their place in the world. So I think I actually go and bump into this lovely cat up the road, and I do believe I'm almost talking to him. I mean, they just look at you and they nearly nod their heads, I think.
Yeah,
So it's which sounds a bit crazy, but and if you're just staring at each other with their eyes and your back to your eyes, sort of thing, it's just sending love as well, I think. They are quite loving animals.
definitely. All of this cupboard love thing. I don't believe any of it, not with dogs either. That's all
Yeah.
rubbish. But with cats, I think particularly if you've got an outdoor cat, the fact that they are free to leave if they want. Whereas I do think dogs, I mean, once I described them maybe as being prisoners, which wasn't. I was talking to one of the one of the top bigwigs at the Kennel Club at the time, a couple of years ago, and they're not prisoners, but in a way they are. Whereas cats are definitely not if it's an outdoor cat. So the fact that they choose to return. It's not just for their meal because cats are very adept, quite honestly, of finding their own tea if they have to. I don't believe that. But yeah, where am I going with this? Yeah, they choose, they have choice. So they are freer.
Yes, they it's very much down to what they want and the choices. And they know that they don't have to just spend some time with a company that they don't like. And so they really do have their values. And I think that's so great because then you know that, I'm going to follow their lead because they are so clever, I think, and capable. And
Yeah.
it's going to build up more and more the more there are cat lovers. And I mean, for some people, it must be, oh, for heaven's sake, why are you taking your cat on a date just to try and break the ice and things like that?
Isn't that, I mean, are people really doing that, Gillian?
Yes, apparently. It's there was well, I read it somewhere that it men particularly, I think it was, they were taking their cat because they were a bit nervous about meeting somebody. And then it might be just sitting in a restaurant and the cat's still there because the my local pub, they allow cats in. And
Really?
yes, and I think they get a whole range of lovely furry things. And also now you can take on some airways, you can take your cat on a flight with you. And it sort of makes it better for people on the plane because it increases a really nice catosphere, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And and then I think there was yeah, I think Qatar Airways might do it and various things. I mean, there'll be a time when we sit on planes with dogs and cats, not in the hold, but sitting in an aisle, which I thought was a great idea. So, but then if either of the animals wanted to go to the loo, that would be a bit tricky. But but I just thought, well, we are changing so much for animals, and we just decide now these are lovely, lovely sort of companions, and they give so much and don't really try and take away a lot. So I think that's what I really love about them.
Oh,
So
I definitely agree. They do give you more than I think, a lot of people, assume with cats, that they're just out for themselves.
Hey, Anna.
Hey, Mike.
So we've just finished Billy's first 60 days of Antinol, and wow, what a difference.
Really? Oh my gosh, what have you noticed?
Well, he's shiner. He's much more energetic. Not that he wasn't beforehand, but you can see the difference. But remember, I told you he used to have that little limp in his back left paw that he'd hurt himself as a pup. He
Yes,
doesn't seem
yes.
to do that much anymore.
What, the hop, skip, and the jump?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like his joints are a bit better. And we actually had friends around this weekend who'd noticed that there was something good about Billy. And I was telling them about Antinol, and they said, "Oh, what's in it?" I said, "Well, green lip mussel." And they said, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh, well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Anna," as I always do. So
Well,
for next time, what should I say? What's so great
well,
about green lip mussel?
well, green lip mussel, it comes from New Zealand. It's the only place that green lip mussels live. And what's great about the green lip mussel is that it is what's known as a broad spectrum source of omega-3. And the reason dogs need to take omega-3 is that their bodies don't make it themselves. So unless they're getting it through, their diet, which can be omega-6 heavy. And it's very important to have a balance between omega-6 and omega-3. So it's normally through supplements that omega-3 is given. And green lip mussel is unique in its having everything from EPA, DHA, and ETA. So all the main omega-3s.
And how about Binks and Prudence? They must be much better as well.
Yeah, well, they've been on it for over a year, and they've been on green lip mussel forever since I've had them. So Prue's 10 now. So she's had green lip mussel since the first day I brought her home, to be honest, but not Antinol. And I only wish I'd discovered Antinol earlier. I really honestly mean that, because it's an oil rather than a powder. So its bioavailability, that means, its effectivity to get absorbed quickly and efficiently by the body is greater.
So people listening now and they want to discover Antinol for themselves, where do they go?
Well, all you have to do is go to Antinol, ANTINOL.co.uk, and then type in Anna Webb and get your special discount. You've got some lovely quotes in the book as well from very famous people, including Einstein himself. He says here, there are two means of refuge from the misery of life: music and cats. There we go. So well said, Albert Einstein there. And Charles Dickens. And this has got me thinking, are there any famous cats in the Dickens novels? I can't remember actually off the top of my head, but Charles Dickens, what greater gift than the love of a cat? There we go. So some very important people. Jean Cocteau. I love cats because I enjoy my home, and little by little they become its invisible soul. We could go on.
I know they were amazing, and the one with what was it? It's I'm just looking at reminding me on one of this with Taylor Swift, and she wanted, she was going to stand in for cats on a play, and then she decided she had to get in, and she said, when a role came up in the movie, actually, sorry, called Cats, I just thought, I've got to do this. This is my calling in life, to do this for the ladies. So I went to cat school and learned how to be as much like a cat as possibly could. So I just thought she had to go in because she's got such a big following. So she's another one who loves cats, to write up her, just thinking how wonderful they are. So, but when the quotes you've read, that it's with really strong people, with like Mark Twain and all the rest of it, and when a man loves cats, I am his friend and comrade without further introduction. And you think, well, this goes back a long way, and is as many men as it is women who love them. So it's it's not just a mad Catwoman situation. So
No. Yeah, no, totally. Yes, I know what you mean. And I'm looking at this lovely photo, at the beginning of Sweep.
oh yeah.
And he looks quite like Baggy, actually, just a black moggy cat. Yeah. And there's something about black cats, isn't there? I mean, I just love their, their alleged connection to, the dark side, really. I just find that quite fascinating, and witchcraft and all the like. But it's so sad that black cats stay in rescue, same as black dogs actually, stay in rescue way longer than any other colour. Isn't that awful?
It is actually. And again, I just picked up something that um, they were talking about the fact that these black cats are always left for a long time in a rescue centre. And then they said people don't understand that that kind of cat, and a lovely moggy, is one with the best temperament. And I certainly experienced that with Sweep. He never scratched, he never bit anyone, even me, and he was so lovely. So I'm wondering if I should go and do an article about what's wrong with black cats. They're lovely.
They
A
are
better
lovely.
title than that, but
No, a
yeah,
friend of mine, she's just adopted two black kittens. Well, they're a few months old now, from Celia Hammond. I love that rescue. I think she does rehome a few dogs, but it is mainly the Celia Hammond Cat Sanctuary, down, well, there's three. I think it's two, one in Kent, one in Sussex. The nearest one to London is in Canning Town. I think it's very important to adopt, not to shop, particularly at the
yeah,
moment, across both dogs and cats. Would you agree, Gillian?
yeah. I would actually, and that's a very good idea. And I noticed out in Japan, or I read about it anyway, that people can rent cats, which I thought was a bit strange. But it's yeah, it's obviously you could go to a rescue centre, and you could you could find another means to get an animal and adopt it. But it's I think we just have to just realize this is a lovely cat. I'm going to give him a good time and a happy forever home. So it's obviously very subjective to the people who are trying to home an animal. So, but for a lot of people, they do just say, I've got to get that cat. There was an instant connection. And children sometimes kind of like black cats, I think. And well, for the time being, they might they might decide to get another color later. But it is very much just try to actually think for the animal. It really needs your help too, and then they'll give you so much back. And it's a shame that black dogs are being left as well. Is that,
Mm,
yeah,
they are. They take longer to rehome. I'm so cynical about everything, I think one of the reasons is, black cats and black dogs, they don't photograph as well because they can just look like a black blob if you don't get the lighting
oh,
right. No, but they do,
yes,
don't they?
yeah,
If you just see a black blob with these great big green eyes, which I think is really brilliant. You know, but of course, some social media pressures, that maybe isn't the ideal thing. So I do think
yeah.
that's got something to do with it.
I think so. I mean, Maine Coon cats are everywhere on social media, and they're lovely, and they are known to be very great to have in your home, and they don't do anything naughty. But I have my niece's boyfriend bought her a Maine Coon, and it ended up being a disastrous decision. So they're not all great cats. Obviously, they've got different personalities, but I think because they look so beautiful, they're thrown on to Instagram. If I see another Maine Coon, I just think, yes, okay, I think we know about Maine Coons. So, and that I don't really know how long Maine Coons live for against a Moggy, But in a way, we've got to be open to every single dog and cat. We have to really just not just say, right, no, that's not good, and just dismiss them. We really do need to protect them, really.
Yeah.
So, not just ignoring them.
No,
So,
absolutely. And I agree with fads on, certain breeds. I mean, the Maine Coon, I mean, they're stunning. They're massive. I mean, Gremlin, my first cat. So I've only had two cats. You see, Gremlin landed in my garden when he was about 5 months. He was young, beautiful, perfectly marked black and white cat. And I was going to call him Pat after Postman Pat's cat because he looked like him, but then he was so naughty. I mean, just, it just Gremlin just came out, and I just thought, you know what, that is such a cool, it's almost like a rock and roll name for a cat. And then Baggy, see, he's black, but he doesn't look anything like a Black Panther at all. He's very wonky. He's been in, he's had a broken jaw, so his jaw isn't square, it's not funny. Got, I don't know how or when this happened. And then his back right leg is wonky. I think he was hit by a car at some point. I've no idea. I mean, I don't know anything about his past at all. But he's so fitted in, he just ignores the dogs, he can't be bothered with them really. I mean, he doesn't even really want to lower himself to that level. I honestly do believe that actually with him. He's on a different level. He is, as you
yeah.
say, he's a deity. So
Yeah, he's got his own decision making, and he doesn't want to just lower the tone for
yeah,
him or something. I love the name Gremlin. And
Gremlin. Oh,
yes, I love on all of the names your animals have. Can I ask you, is it all right to say,
yes.
are you buying any Valentine's presents for your pets? There was a talk on the radio earlier.
Who was there? I missed that. Crumbs. Well, do you know what? No is the short answer. I mean, look, I'm very aware that dogs, for example, they don't know it's Christmas. They know something's going on because the humans around them are going frantic, buying loads of food. The oven's on the whole time when it normally isn't. Things like that. There's a great big tree in the front room, bizarrely, with funny things hanging off it. So they know something's up, but they don't know it's Christmas. Similarly, dogs don't know it's Valentine's Day. And I would like to profess that I treat every day as Valentine's Day and Christmas with my own pets. So they always get spoilt. So that's my answer.
No, I mean people do get no disrespect to them, but a bit soppy about Valentine's Day, I think. It's bad enough when somebody's husband says, I'm not going to buy flowers, and then the wife is upset, or vice versa. And it's really so commercial now. So it's
Yeah,
really, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But you see, I think, in your book, going back to that now, from catnip to Cupid,
yeah,
yes, it has a Valentine's theme about it and everything. And it is a tongue-in-cheek look at dating, isn't it, really, through,
yeah,
how you can get advice to do it right from your cat's point of view. But it's brilliant. I really love it. And there's some real nuggets in here as well on cat behavior. And for example, and I agree with this, the chapter that is treasure your cat naps, because that's the key with the cat, isn't it? They can nap, on,
oh gosh,
anywhere,
yeah.
can't they? They just think, right, time for a nap. Could be on the edge of a fence, could be, on the top of my shed, or wherever. They have this ability to balance, and which also really sets them apart from a dog.
Oh yes, and there are pictures of cats sprawled over a piano, upside down, and all sorts of things. And I'm rather jealous that cats can just get so much sleep. Maybe it should try and get humans to sleep a bit better. But yes, I think that's all about how I think they might just go to sleep and start dreaming about catnip or something like that. And so I'd really love if we ever get to the point that they can talk, it would be so amazing. So I don't think that's going to be anytime soon.
Well, I
But
don't know, Gillian. I mean, no, look, because, well, you see, I don't know if I'm actually Baggy's first home, you see. I don't know. But I've seen on Instagram cats that they're not really talking, okay, but they are mimicking, and cats do mimic. That's something else. So they, they'll copy you with things. And so, I mean, when Bags comes in the morning, when he hears my alarm go off, he thinks, oh, she's up now, it's breakfast time. Sure, could be that. But then, because he is out at night, because once a feral, always a feral,
oh, yeah.
actually. So give him the choice anyway. So anyway, he comes in and then, but no, he does this. So Gillian, he goes like this. He goes like this. Hello. Right now, if that's not hello, I don't know what anything is, right? And then when I've got the cat flap locked, he can't use the cat flap. He's obviously never seen one in his life, but he uses it as a door knocker. So he'll bang on the cat flap to let him out sometimes at sort of 4 a.m. I'm like, great. But it's good because he gets me up early. But he makes this noise, right? As you see, he goes, he does this.
Oh,
I want out. Seriously, promise. And
wow.
I'm lying in bed thinking, is he actually saying I want out, or is this my complete imagination? um, and then so I don't know, but I'm being a bit silly here, but also maybe not, because you see, unlike dogs that have been scientifically, analyzed until there really is nothing left to analyze in a dog, and we've done it multiple times, right, on every single subject, okay? Because you can take a dog somewhere, you can ask them to go and find that treat, or smell this odor, then test their bloods, and oh my god, smelling your cortisol put your dog in a pessimistic mood. That's one that's fairly recent, and all sorts of things. But with a cat, you can't do that, because on the whole, I know they go on some dates, but they don't really like to go to strange places. So,
No,
and if
no.
they did, they'd be in their cat carrier for about a day of it. So, analyzing cats isn't as easy as it is with dogs. So we don't really know very much about them at all, which I love.
Yes, they are. Yes, it's they hold back, and I think that's a good thing. And maybe as humans, we should hold back certain things. Maybe I don't know, but there's nothing really that they can't do, and but being sort of independent and actually doing their thing is one of the sort of best things of a cat in terms of their personality. But they are actually sort of encouraging their humans to get fit, because cats generally, if they don't eat too much food, they can do all sorts of things, and hopefully not too often jumping out of a window and landing on their paws. That would be great, but sometimes if it's too high, then they could actually break something. But they so they love stretching, and they've got a slightly different uh, fit thing that they basically, it's called a cat cow um, position, where you've
In
got sort of
yoga, yeah.
yes. And I
Yeah.
thought that's amazing. That so if you go along with the cat, go to the gym, do those two things, then there's every chance the human will get super fit, maybe even fitter than their cat. But they probably will be woken up at 4 a.m. and
Yes.
actually take you to the gym. They can be almost like a fitness coach and
Yes. Yeah.
yes, personal trainer. And I mean, that might be just a bit, hang on a minute, they can't do that all the time. But so it made me almost the reason why I joined this fitness place about 2 months ago. And I was thinking about the cat, but there is no cat at the gym, sadly. So,
Oh, no,
um,
They like to keep their spines. They've got the most flexible spines.
Yeah.
Cats much more flexible than a dog's spine, obviously, because they need to take impact when they do jump and things. They're extraordinary. Oh gosh, Gillian, I could talk for ages, but just summarize your book for everyone. And so, it's a fun, doesn't have to be a Valentine's gift, this book, does it? So explain, summarize it and where people can buy it.
Yeah. Yes. No. It's you. You don't have to buy it associated with Valentine's. It's just if you like cats and or particularly love them to bits, then I hope you will enjoy it. And the book is doing reasonably well. You can buy it in Waterstones. You can buy it at Valerian Press, which is the independent publisher who's I've worked with. And if you put the title in, it actually jumps up where you can get it. And it's in the form of an ebook, a paperback, and a hardback. So you have these options if you're interested in it. But it's just really about exploring how your cat and you can live side by side. And there will be things that will help you so much, both for the cat will love it and you'll love it. And it's if you are a little bit lost in modern dating and you don't want to go on the apps, this was in my mind as well, that you can actually meet people in real life, which is obviously sort of more what most of us want to do, I suppose. But that it shows how the cats have a job to do with us as a perfect cheerleader and comforter. And they will wipe away your tears, which I thought was quite sweet when I saw this cat doing that very thing for their human. And they'll catapult you in the right direction to protect you from red flags so you can focus on the green ones. And I haven't quite worked out what the green ones are entirely. I've just invented green ones. And there's really nothing your cat can't do, even when it comes to romance. So the idea is really to really work on the cat-human bond. And actually most of the bonds among humans and cats is so strong. And you could then also read your cat a bedtime story, which a lot of people do. And thanks to your cat sitting by your side, he will and she will spread the stardust. So if you're lost in the muddle of modern dating, which is a bit of a muddle, let your cat be your wingman, guiding you towards a lovely outcome. So,
yes. Well, there we go. Bags, are you listening to that? Well, Gillian, thank you. I love this. And so it's the Valerian Press. So Google it, it comes up. Great gift for everyone who already loves cats. And then maybe for some of these naughty doubters out there that know they love cats, really.
Yeah.
Well, Gillian, I really hope you'll come back and chat some more about cats.
Love to. And then, yes, it's been great fun. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No, thank you. That's our show, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go on, rate and review the show wherever you tune into your podcasts. Thanks again, of course, to Gillian Carrick for joining us today. Find out more about From Catnip to Cupid, just put it in Google. Thanks, of course, to Mike Hansen, my producer, for all the music and production as ever. And if you're interested to find out a little bit more about Antonol, just simply go to their website, antonol.co.uk, and check out. You can use my special discount code, which is simply Anna Webb. Also, if you're interested to learn more about Natu Raw, then go to their website and you can use my discount code for your first purchase, which is AnnaWebb20. One more thing, if you haven't already, subscribe because it's free. And that way you'll never miss another show. Bye for now.